In the remote highlands of Scotland, where mist cloaks the mountains and ancient castles stand guard over the dark waters, there lies a lake unlike any other, Loch Ness, a place of beauty, mystery, and the alleged home of one of the most famous cryptids in the entire world, the Loch Ness Monster. Known to the locals as Nessie, this creature has stirred up imaginations, fueled debate, and kept us coming back to ask one question: is there really something lurking in the depths? So to understand the true legend or myth of Nessie, we need to dive in to, well, first of all, what is the Loch Ness Monster? The legend of the Loch Ness Monster is steeped in both ancient lore and modern mystery. Most depictions agree on a long-necked creature with a humpback body similar to that of the plesiosaur, an ancient marine reptile that went extinct well over 66 million years ago. This has led some to believe that Nessie could be a relic of the past who somehow is surviving in the depths of the Loch Ness. But the theories about Nessie's identity are as varied as they are mysterious. Some suggest that she might just be a giant eel or even a sturgeon, which of course is an ancient fish which is known for their size and, regularly quite odd shapes. Others claim that she could be a massive amphibian or simply a collective trick of the imagination, a story amplified by centuries of human fascination, which has then just spurred this on to become, well, more of a tourist marketing attraction than anything else. But there have been countless encounters that have allegedly taken place in Loch Ness, with many people stating with great depth and conviction that they have truly seen the Loch Ness Monster, some people even going as far as to capture it on camera. So the first ever recorded encounter with the Loch Ness Monster dated back to the year 565 AD, which, that's a long time ago, when Saint Columba, an Irish monk, was said to have confronted a, quote, water beast in the River Ness, a river connected to Loch Ness. According to the story, Columba saw the beast moving towards a swimmer, and he raised his hand, ordering the creature to retreat in the name of God. Amazingly, the creature apparently obeyed and left the swimmer completely unharmed. And this encounter has gone on to be preserved as the earliest encounter that anyone's ever had with the alleged monster that lurks in the depths of Loch Ness. And to begin with, Loch Ness Monster wasn't known as the Loch Ness Monster, it was known as the Monster of the Loch. But the legend of the Loch Ness Monster truly took off in the 1930s, after the construction of a new road alongside the shore of the loch, which brought visitors and with them a lot more sightings. Just like in 1933, when a man called George Spicer and his wife reported seeing a, quote, dragon-like creature with a long neck crossing the road in front of their car. Their story went on to be published in the local newspaper, which completely spiraled this story to popularity, with many people flooding to the loch to try and catch a glimpse of this alleged beast that was lurking in there. And the newspaper article also inspired worldwide interest in the Loch Ness Monster. Shortly after this encounter took place, another man called Hugh Gray captured the first ever alleged photograph of Nessie. Although incredibly blurry, his image showed a strange dark figure in the water, adding to this growing and already by this time, worldwide spread mystery. The world at this point was well and truly captivated. Only a year later, in 1934, a photo emerged that would become synonymous with the Loch Ness Monster. The so-called surgeon's photograph, taken by a man called Dr. Robert Kenneth Wilson. This image appeared to show a long-necked creature gliding through the water like it was nothing. And for decades, it was considered the definitive evidence of the Loch Ness Monster. Nobody refuted this evidence, and everyone just accepted its legitimacy. However, that was until the year 1990, well over, 50 years later, until this image was inevitably debunked and proven to be an elaborate hoax. Orchestrated by big game hunter Marmaduke Wetherell, who wanted revenge on the media after his own Nessie quote footprints were debunked as fake, the monster in the surgeon's photograph was later revealed to be nothing more than a toy submarine fitted with a head. But although there have been countless fake evidence that's come out of the Loch Ness Monster over the years, there have been multiple witnesses that have been quite credible and tangible, and to this day have not yet been debunked. The first of which being Tim Dinsdale's film, which came out in 1960. Within the image, the aeronautical engineer Tim Dinsdale captured what is widely considered to be the most compelling pieces of Nessie evidence to date. His film shows a large object moving through the loch, creating a wake as it travelled. Dinsdale, who was, ultimately a skeptic at first of the Loch Ness Monster, became convinced that he had filmed the beast and had filmed something extraordinary. But to this day, experts remain divided. Some claim that it was just a boat, while others insist that the movement is consistent with a large living creature. Even renowned wildlife cinematographer David Attenborough, the Sir David Attenborough, has expressed intrigue over this very footage. If that man's intrigued, then so am I. And in 1987, Operation Deep Scan, the largest sonar exploration of Loch Ness to date, involved 24 boats scanning the loch and the depths simultaneously to try and see if there was anything at all lurking in the deep. While most of the readings showed absolutely nothing out of the ordinary, a few sonar contacts were made that detected large moving objects, which sparked further intrigue, especially as they were never definitively, defined. While the sonar data couldn't conclusively prove that Nessie truly exists, the unexplained readings suggest that there is something large and unknown that could indeed be lurking in the loch, which is enough to put me off going swimming there for sure. But that's not where the video footage ends, as in 2007, a lab technician who goes by the name of Gordon Holmes also captured high-resolution video footage of a long dark object moving across Loch Ness. Holmes, who described the object as approximately 15 meters long, believed that he had filmed Nessie in action. And again today, to this very day, it hasn't been definitively proven or disproven. But as of today, scientists are using cutting-edge technology to explore Loch Ness in ways that have never been possible before. In 2018, for example, a team conducted a DNA survey collecting over 200 water samples to analyse the genetic material present in the loch. Surprisingly, actually, the study found no traces of a large reptilian DNA, which effectively did end up ruling out the surviving plesiosaur theory. However, that doesn't mean that they didn't find anything, as they did go on to find significant amounts of eel DNA, leading to a theory that Nessie might just be a gigantic eel, which is a creature known to reach incredibly surprising long lengths. But could this truly explain the long-necked monster that people have reportedly seen for well over 1,500 years?
Is there a plesiosaur in Loch Ness? No. There is absolutely no evidence of any reptilian sequences in our sample, so I think we can be fairly sure that there is probably not a giant scaly reptile swimming around in Loch Ness. So there's one idea that remains plausible, although the evidence for this is fairly anecdotal. There is large amounts of eel DNA in Loch Ness. Eels are very plentiful in the loch system. Every single sampling site that we went to pretty much had eels, and the sheer volume of it was a bit of a surprise. Now, is it possible that what people are seeing is a giant eel? Well, maybe.
But whether Nessie is a giant eel, a trick of the light, or something that we are yet to understand, her legend has become immortal. And it's if one thing is true, Loch Ness does hold its secrets incredibly close. And so long as it does, the allure of the unknown will continue to draw adventurers, skeptics, and believers alike to try and discover what is truly going on in the depths of that very loch. And I'm sure the shops nearby will be absolutely loving it too, because it has become one of the biggest tourist attractions in the entirety of Scotland. But what do you make of this? Do you think that the Loch Ness Monster is a genuine creature, or do you think it is the stuff of legends? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Have you ever had any sightings of the Loch Ness Monster? Let me know everything down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump scare the hell out of that like button, and until next time, I'll speak to you later.